Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good Thursday afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Louis Sports Network. Hope everybody is having a wonderful Thursday. Before we get started, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, make sure your post notifications are turned on, make sure you're sharing on your social media platforms. Truly appreciate it. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Thursday. Peace and blessings to everybody, man. I definitely appreciate you guys liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing to the channel. For those who are new and who have seen my videos, again, make sure to share these videos. I definitely appreciate you guys, man. As always, I say, without you guys, there is no me. Much love and plus respect to all of you guys, man. Appreciate you guys. Now, on to the video. So, Anthony Davis, and we have to talk about him because what's really interesting is he was on Draymond Green's podcast recently, and he talked about the 2020 NBA bubble title. As you know, LeBron fanboys have been defending that championship for God, how many years now since it's happened, because according to them, it was the purest form of basketball ever played. Defending that nonsense, knowing that they're going to be a bunch of hypocrites, because had any other player won it, they would have criticized it, because that would have been one less championship that LeBron James has, which again lets you know that all they obsess about is LeBron James. See, they only talk about LeBron haters, according to them, how they're obsessed. I said, but they're more obsessed because they're defending everything he does and not holding LeBron James accountable. No plausible deniability whatsoever, and they're just letting him get away with the nonsense. Well, anyway, Anthony Davis told Draymond Green that even though he said that the bubble championship was the purest form of basketball, he had to question it, because he says, even though it says I'm an NBA champion, do I feel like I won? I don't know if I legitimately won that championship. Like, am I a champion? But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a listen to Anthony Davis, and we're gonna hear what he has to say, and then I'm gonna give you once again my thoughts about it. Take a listen.
To this day, I think about that, right? Like, man, did I really win a championship? And you hear the noise, which to me is probably the hardest championship to ever, accomplish. But for me, I also feel like I know I'm a champion, but I want the real experience. Damn, did I win? Did I not win? Like, I know I'm listed as a champion, but it's like, I'm not sure. So it motivates me more now to, like, you know what? I gotta have that opportunity again.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard AD in his comments, and here's my opinion. If the championship is legitimized, then why are you questioning it, AD? Why are you questioning it? Do you guys remember Alex Caruso? He says something on the lines of, so Anthony Davis, you're not the only one who's had to question about the championship. Alex Caruso also questioned it too, because he says he finally won a real title. So if Alex Caruso says he won a real title, and you're questioning the championship because you didn't get a chance to experience what it was like to win in a very difficult environment, being able to see how the fans will react, being able to have a parade for the championship. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. LeBron James, his last championship was in Orlando, in Disney. He has not won a championship for the Los Angeles Lakers. And let me tell you what I mean. He has not won a championship in an actual, really difficult environment, when you have to deal with the fans, when you have to deal with travel. You didn't have to travel, and you got a month break. See, LeBron fanboys have been defending, and even some Laker fans to an extent, like, the Lakers had the best record in the NBA. They were going to win the championship. Like, they were dominating. I said, yeah, but you also forget that AD has never played a full season in his career. And his body tends to break down in the long stretches of the season. What's his body going to hold up? We're never going to know. The only thing we do know is that the season got shut down in 2020, and the Lakers got, along with everybody in the NBA, got a 3 to 4 month break when the NBA was considering canceling the season. And remember, it was LeBron who was cool with canceling the season until he realized it was an opportunity to get an easy championship. And that's when LeBron says, no, we're not going to shut down the season. Again, if you guys pay attention, it isn't just the fact that teams did not want to be there. There were teams dealing with COVID protocols, and the Lakers were the only team that were allowed to practice fully, despite the fact that they had a couple of guys who had COVID themselves, and Adam Silver never let out the report on who were the NBA players that had COVID. See, but that's the thing that they don't talk about, ladies and gentlemen. That's the thing that they fail to ignore. They just throw that in the wasteland. And so Anthony Davis says that he wants to experience what it's like to win a real championship. So my thing is, he's like, yeah, I'm a champion, but did I really win it? And it's like, when you have to question it, that means that you don't believe that you feel like you're an NBA champion, even though it's in the history books. Because, LeBron James, he's gone out and, man, on his show, The Road Tripping, man, I've won the two hardest championships in NBA history in 2016 and 2020. It was the purest form of basketball. Like, he was trying to make it like it was so difficult. Meanwhile, he got to sleep and he had so much comfort in the hotels and the food. This is how you know LeBron is nothing but a pampered victim, allegedly. So if Anthony Davis is questioning the championship, that just lets you know that how legit is that championship. Alex Caruso says he won a real one, and now Anthony Davis is questioning it. But yeah, LeBron will say, "Oh yeah, well, even despite Miami, oh yeah, I was already a winner." Really? Because you missed the playoffs your first 2 years, you lose in the second round to the Detroit Pistons after being up 3-2 in 2006 in your first playoff appearance. You get swept in the NBA Finals to the San Antonio Spurs. You lose in the conference semis in 7 games to the Boston Celtics. The very next year in 2009 and 2010, back-to-back 60-win seasons, back-to-back MVP seasons, and you lost in the Eastern Conference Finals to the Magic in 6 games, and then you lost to the Boston Celtics in 6, which was considered an upset because you guys were the favorites both of those years. And then in 2011, you go to the NBA Finals and you choke and wet the bed against the Dallas Mavericks. You know that series, the one where you blew a 15-point lead in Game 2 at home, the series where you pretended to not even pretend. You and Dwayne Wade mocked Dirk Nowitzki for being sick, and you end up losing the last 3 games of that series. You had an 8-point NBA Finals in which your team lost by 3 points in that game, and you wet the bed, and you were a horrible fourth-quarter performer in the series. But you're going to sit here and say, oh, you're a winner without Miami, because you're talking about post-career. But before Miami, you were not a winner, LeBron James. You see how he keeps trying to change the narrative? This lets you know that LeBron is insecure. Like, he's talked about cheating the game, and I've never cheated the game. Yeah, you cheated the game. You took shortcuts, LeBron. Everything with you is plausible deniability. You're insecure about your place in NBA history. You constantly want to be talked about because it has to feed your gaslighting ego. You're nothing but a gaslighting narcissist. And now 2 of your teammates from the 2020 championship have questioned whether that championship is legit or not. Caruso said he got a real one, and AD doesn't feel like he's a champion, even though he says that it was the purest form of basketball, because he questioned it more than legitimized that championship. And this is what I said before when it comes to LeBron. In 2012, people are getting on Tim Duncan that, he didn't win a real championship in the 99 lockout, but he won 4 legit titles after that. So I'm sorry, but no. And now you're talking about, I was always a winner. Really? Because all you've been talking about is that high school championship. So if you're talking about high school championship, that means that you're not really a winner like that, LeBron James. Unbelievable. But that just goes to show you. And Anthony Davis was pretty much, he was disrespected. He should have been the finals MVP. He was the best playoff performer, to be quite honest, but you took away his finals MVP because you don't want to have that notion that you were carried. You've been going on with this narrative that you've been carrying all these teams, that you carried D Wade when he was the best player in 2011, and you played like a role player. You played like a role player, LeBron James. But now NBA history is disrespecting Dwayne Wade like he was a nobody, according to you, and then according to your fanboys. And then Anthony Davis, David Griffin, who helped you acquire him when he got to New Orleans. Operation Sheets, get LeBron the help he needs to win another title. And you needed a 3-month break. You were allowed to practice while other teams were not able to do the COVID protocol. You had players who were never named as to who had COVID on your team. So Anthony Davis says even though there was confetti, he just didn't feel like it was legit. Now, LeBron, now you have two teammates who've come out and said this. How does that make you feel? I bet you that not only LeBron fanboys are pissed, but now LeBron is pissed himself that now more than one teammate, former teammate, has come out and questioned that championship. It was an easy, fluky bubble NBA title. Because since LeBron has been in the Western Conference, missed the playoffs his first year, couldn't do it with the young guys. 2020 wins the bubble title. 2021 first round exit. 2022 didn't even make the play-in with the players they acquired. Melo. They brought back Dwight. They obviously brought Russ, and that was a total disaster, winning only 33 games. 2023 went to the Western Conference Finals after making a big trade and getting the help from the referees to make sure they make it to the Western Conference Finals. But then you get swept by the Denver Nuggets who end up winning the championship. Then the next year in 2024, you lose in the first round to a much weaker Denver Nuggets team who didn't play as well as they did in their championship run. You lose in the first round. And then in 2025, you lose in the first round again, LeBron James, to the Minnesota Timberwolves, despite you being the favorites. And you were the third seed and you had home court advantage. But you know, the fanboys go, what do you expect? LeBron is 40 years old for the last 6 years, and he lost to the better team. They were the much better team. They were the much better team, despite the fact that the Lakers were the favorites. But they were the better team. The excuses are unbearable, ladies and gentlemen. They are absolutely unbearable. And LeBron wonders why he's hated. He wonders why. That's the part that's so ridiculous. And now that you have a second teammate, it's going to really make LeBron look bad, because I just wonder how many more stories are going to come out. This is why LeBron keeps speaking things into existence. And it's like he's getting desperate, y'all. He's getting desperate. He's trying to come up with any single lie to make sure that you listen to him. He gets to try to spin his narratives. But it's like, LeBron, eventually your lies are going to catch up with you. You act like people are stupid. You act like the internet doesn't exist. You act like the receipts are not there, bro. They're there. You got to stop pretending. What? See, if that was the case, you should have tried to have your PR team try to delete every single piece of evidence. But the problem is we can't do that. Your fans are brainwashed and they know it. How to manipulate a cult-like fan base like LeBron fanboys, excuse me. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Louis with another one. This is Anthony Davis' thoughts on him questioning if his championship was legit or not in 2020. I'm going to say it again, one last thing. It doesn't matter who won that championship. It was a fluky NBA title.
Maybe even 200. But how much better does this one feel?
Yeah, now I got a real one. Now nobody can say anything. Yeah, I think just because of the way the team is constructed now versus the team I had in 2020, like it was much harder with this team just because of the experience, right? And everybody talked about you need experience to win a championship and you need this, that, and the other. And I said multiple times through the postseason with this team that the good basketball is good basketball. Winning basketball is winning basketball. And the best team can win no matter what happens if you go out there and execute and do the stuff that you need to do to win the game. And I think through the playoffs, this team grew up and learned on the fly, which most teams have to learn through losses and learn through defeat. And I think this team learned through success. And it's a unique capability to be able to do that for, 21 to 27-year-old kids. And for me, I've seen greats do it, so I knew the way, I knew the mindset. But to see these guys do it, man, it's really cool to see it in person. And I'm so happy for the guys just to be able to figure it out, to be able to get this done.